Hey, I just want to say thank you for being part of the New Jersey Business Podcast community. It is you that gives the likes, comments, shares that has enabled us to grow this podcast. And this is only the beginning. We have big plans to scale this podcast in terms of the type of guests we're going to have, in terms of the topics that we're going to cover, and more importantly, the value that we're going to bring to you. So again, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the New Jersey Business Podcast team. And I want to ask you just one favor. Wherever you're listening or watching this podcast, please subscribe. Thank you.
The New Jersey Business Podcast highlights and supports local business and business owners just like you. We interview New Jersey's finest people, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You'll get tons of value from local business people as they share about their journey and secrets to success. If you like what you hear, want to support us, and make sure you are getting more of the good stuff, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast today. You are listening to the New Jersey Business Podcast with your friend, host, all-around good guy, Paul Valverde. Now, on to the show.
What's shaking, New Jersey? Welcome to another episode of the New Jersey Business Podcast. Today, I have with me Jose German Gomez, founder of the Northeast Earth Coalition and recipient of the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award. Jose, welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Paul, for inviting me to this wonderful program and opportunity to share my experience with your audience.
You know, right before we got started, while we were setting up, we were having a conversation, and there were so many things that you share about yourself that I'd like the audience to listen. Our community is very engaged and very involved in helping out and volunteering. And so I would like, before we talk about the opportunities that they may have within the Northeast Earth Coalition, to get to know you a little bit. So I have this question that I love to ask, and is, we are who we are today because of the experiences that we've had in life. So if I ask you, Jose, what do I need to know about you, about your origins and the experiences you had in life that makes you who you are today and the way you are today? And you could take me all the way back to childhood if you want. What will you tell me?
I come from the Caribbean. My mother was Dominican, my father Puerto Rican. I grew up mostly in Puerto Rico, but also spent time in Dominican Republic. The family of my mother have a very ancient tradition of community work, going back to 19th century. My great-grandfather was a philanthropist, and he was supporting people who were facing food insecurity, unhoused people, blind because he was blind, and he also was protecting children who were orphans. My uncle continued the work of my great-grandfather, and he was supporting all his life children with disability because he has one. And he founded a hospital in Puerto Plata, which is still running and funded by his foundation.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that is somewhere is in my DNA. My mother was also a nurse, and she was doing a lot of community work in health, in DR and Puerto Rico.
And so that is the reason why it's part of you to serve, to make a difference. Very fitting that you receive the Russ Berrie Award of making a difference. We're going to fast forward, and we're going to talk about that for a little bit. We're going to talk about what did it feel to receive that award?
Yes, it's a very unique experience because we have been doing this forever and motivating people to work with us. So the recognition is not only to me, it's a recognition to all the people who has been working with me. We feel very honored to receive the recognition of the Russ Berrie Make a Difference Award 2023. is inspiring, and in some way we are following the step of Russ Berrie, which was a New Jersey philanthropist, and he did amazing things for the state and beyond. But at the same time, is, like I said before, is a recognition to the people who are working every day to make a difference in the life of many people, especially those vulnerable, like people facing food insecurity, unhoused people, and people who are affected by environment pollution, all of these things.
For those of you who are not familiar with the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award, you should know that the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award is a signature program of the Russell Berrie Foundation. And Jose shared a little bit about Russell Berrie, philanthropist who as part of his foundation, left this award so that and basically the award honors New Jersey residents whose outstanding community service and heroic acts have made a substantial impact on the lives of others here in New Jersey. As of 2023, the foundation has had, through this award, 408 honorees in 21 counties of New Jersey, and these individuals have received more than $3.9 million. So thank you to the Russ Berrie Foundation. Thank you to the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award. And I'm so happy that I get to sit here with you because, and I also appreciate the fact that you acknowledge your people. You know, you make it a point to say, I did not do this by myself. It was a group effort, and there's a lot of it's a lot of us who are involved. So far, what we know about you is that it comes in your family to serve others, to be active in service. I know about you that you are selfless. And you're not going to take credit for yourself. I know about you that you receive an award. And also you share with me that you were a Boy Scout.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Probably becoming a Boy Scout was one of the greatest experiences in my life because that gave me the opportunity to work as team members and change the I for we since the very early age. So I was a very shy person, introvert. And the Boy Scout movement philosophy, changed, my personality. And I became, a leader, and then did my Eagle Scout project, which was a restoration project when I was 16 years old. And then a Scoutmaster. But to every place I go, I'm bringing first my experience with the Boy Scout movement because that defined me as a person.
Yeah. I could see that about you. And you were also sharing with me a story of something that happened to you the day before you were going to receive the award. Would you mind please sharing that with everyone?
Oh yeah, it was something unexpected. I, woke up in the middle of the night, went to the bathroom, got dizzy. I don't know what happened, and then fell down and lost consciousness and went to the, to the hospital. An ambulance, took me from home, and, we called 911. It was scary, and I was very concerned because I said, tomorrow is the award. I wanted to be there, not only for me, but for all the people who I represent. I was released at 3 p.m. in the afternoon after I got 12 stitches inside of my mouth and my chin, broken through, very damaged knee. And wake up in the morning and then get to our work. And people were surprised, I thought you were canceling. I said, no, I'm not canceling at all.
I think that speaks volumes of who you are. I know that you did it because that award is an honor to receive, because it meant a lot not only to you but to all your people. And and you had a commitment, and you weren't going to falter in that commitment. I mean, ladies and gents, this man is truly a Boy Scout. I believe that, and I can sense that about you. I was reading my notes before we got together, and I know that you are a very accomplished person. You were considered among the top 10 most influential Latinos here in New Jersey. You also retired from a very successful career, and perhaps people don't know that about you. Perhaps because now you are in the nonprofit sector, you're working with community gardens. They may think that probably that's all you ever did. Is it interesting when you introduce yourself to people and they get to learn that about you? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because people usually relate it, my work, community work with gardening and community activism. But before I decided to make these things my priority, I was working with a French artist management company, international company based in Paris. And we were managing very famous performers, artists from the classical music world. Probably the best people around the planet, very well known soprano, conductor of orchestra, conductor, and all of that. And people don't see that they don't see how you were doing that. I say, well, I was, for almost 11 years working in the classic music performance industry. And then moved to New Jersey in the 1995, and started working with nonprofit organization. It is very important to say this because probably will be an inspiration for many people. When I moved here from Puerto Rico, after being a very successful professional, I couldn't find a job. I don't know why, but I couldn't. So I was taking jobs that people never expected maybe, to do that after you are a professional with even a graduate degree. I was working for, very proud to say, of Hearst Rankard. Was a supervisor driver for 6 months. And then went to a storage company, working for another couple of weeks. So it was, I said, the same experience that any immigrant coming to this country is living. I had the opportunity to live in myself, even after all my successful professional career. And then I started working when I was able to find a job in the nonprofit sector. And becoming later on vice president of finance of education opportunity for the students of minority groups, and then vice president of finance also for the North Jersey cerebral palsy.
What was that like? I would think that is a very humbling experience and difficult. You are successful in your field, and you move. You go somewhere else, you relocate, you're leaving behind what you know and what you love, and you kind of have to start over, How did that affect you and your mindset, the way you were feeling? What was going through your mind and heart during that season?
It was difficult in some way, but I didn't pay attention to that kind of feeling of frustration because that is not who I am. I was looking for the opportunity to be successful for many reasons. So I put all my energies to make that period of my life very transitional and short. And that was exactly what happened. 2 years later, I was leading the finance department of a nonprofit organization.
I want to take a moment for everyone to soak that in. That wasn't who you were, which means that you had your identity very clear. So what you were going through at that moment did not define you because you knew your true identity. What was that identity?
Well, a person who is confident, in myself. Number one. Number two, with vision of future. I knew what I wanted to accomplish, and I knew that was just one little step in my life to get to the point of being successful professionally speaking. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I didn't waste the opportunity to connect with the people who were working with me and learn from them and give them hope for a better future. And say, if I was able to accomplish this, you were able to do that. Go to college, finish your degree, do something for your community. And inspire them in some way.
It also stands out to me, the fact that you said, I decided not to pay attention to those feelings and decided that it was only a transitional period for me. I talk to business owners all the time, and the majority of our audience, about 75%, are first-time business owners. And when they go through a difficult time, they feel like it's going to last forever. And unfortunately, it affects their identity. They begin to feel as if that failure defines who they are, or that product that didn't sell, or that service, or that customer that left them. It makes them feel like they're just losing. What would you say to that person?
Well, that is a good question. I can relate it with them because before my artist management work, I was doing consultant services for a small business in Puerto Rico, planning, organization, marketing. And one of the things for them to be successful is to be able to have a work plan, very well-defined work plan before you do anything. And I would share with them my personal experience developing a landscaping business, eco-friendly landscaping business, right here in New Jersey, 10 years ago. Actually more, it's almost 15 years ago. And this business, the first thing I did was putting together a plan, doing a research to see if my business has the opportunity to be successful. And when I found that there was an opportunity in the market for ecological landscaping, I decided to pursue my dream. I quit my job. I was making a 6-figure salary and decided to do this small business adventure. In my plan, I decided to put a goal in terms of revenues. I said, see, my business in the first year is producing $50,000. And revenues, I'd be more than happy because I know that it has potential. It exceeded my goals. It went from 50,000 to 85,000. And why this is important for business owner, when you have a vision of a new business, set your goal. Don't kill yourself. Put something that is reachable and doable for yourself, and then pursue, what you dream. The following year, when we were doing the budget and putting our strategic plan, I decided let's upgrade the goal to 120,000. We exceeded 150. To make the story short, we were able to get in the third year to 250,000.
Wow.
We had difficulties, yes, but we also were doing innovation. We were one of the first, in New Jersey and in the United States to use electrical mowers to bring a new audience and customer. We were pleasing the customer, maybe investing a lot of time to make them happy, but at the same time cultivating our base. Mm-hmm. We ended with over 450 customers, which was beyond what we were expecting.
That's amazing.
Because they were regular maintenance for it.
Yeah. And what I gather from what you just said is having a plan, setting yourself goals, doing what it takes to meet those goals, and then the result may end up being that you exceed the goals that you're setting for yourself. Jose, tell me how you move into the nonprofit sector, kind of like the origins of the coalition. How did that come about?
Well, since I moved to Montclair in 2000, I was living in Lyndhurst before, but I moved to Montclair in 2000. I started doing gardening in my home, and then immediately I got, the feel that what I was doing wasn't enough, because it was more in the, beautifying the space rather than creating something special. So I was learning about native plants, wildlife habitat, get connected with the National Wildlife Federation. And immediately we created a group of people in town, and we founded the Montclair Wildlife Habitat Project. This was really important for my work, my current work, because it gave me the opportunity to get connected with the community, to educate the community and transform the community, and creating an environmental movement, locally speaking. We got certified all the public schools in town, most of the churches and synagogues, all the parks. In 2005, we were able to get a certification of some wildlife habitat from the National Wildlife Federation. And it was the first in New Jersey. And because of our population of 40,000 people, we were able to get number 9 at national level. That implied stop using chemicals and pesticides, using native plants to recreate a habitat, natural habitat for wildlife. From that point, we switched the year to producing local food, growing our own vegetable. And I started, changing my own backyard and creating a vegetable garden. And we produce at home 750 pounds of vegetable per season.
Wow.
So I said, if we are able to do that, and we replicate this, project in other people's homes, it will be awesome. During the World War II, the government created the Victory Garden. And I said, if we go back to that time, during the Victory Garden, American people were producing 34% of the food that they were eating at home.
Wow.
And that was a transformation, social transformation in diet, nutrition, everything. So we did that. It was very successful, teaching people, reaching out, not only Montclair, but neighboring towns. And then in 2016, I started planning my retirement. I said, I want to retire early, in the top of my career, professional career. So I founded the Northeast Earth Coalition, combined the Montclair Wildlife Habitat Project, the community gardens, and then incorporated environmental work. But at the same time, I saw an opportunity to bring other community activists. I said, there is many organizations doing environmental work in the tri-state area, but none of them is approaching or serving the community activists. And that is what I want to do. Work with the community activists, empowering them, and network with them to advance the cause and the mission of all the organizations that they are, leading. So we created the Acting Locally for a More Sustainable World Conference. The first year, we got 35 organizations represented in the Montclair Public Library. The second year, the event moved to 35 to 48. And then the third year, we decided to switch to a bigger venue because it was growing so fast. And the conference became one of the largest gatherings of environmentalists and community activists, not only in New Jersey, but in the tri-state area. And knowing that New York City is the capital leader, in environmentalism, along with, California, state of California, we said, well, we are now, one of the most the bigger gatherings in New Jersey and in the tri-state area. And then the coalition started, being more well-known. People were coming for different proposals. We were supporting expansion in other towns. We have now 6 community gardens, 7 environmental projects, and growing.
Wow.
And we have a small project in 13 communities in northern and central Jersey.
How is the coalition funded?
The coalition is funded as a grassroots organization, is funded by a small donation for individual. We don't receive public funding. We receive very little funding from some foundation. We want to change that because now we have a lot of things that we have accomplished, and I think that they deserve. Just to give you an idea, between 2021 and 2022, we doubled the budget of the organization from $600,000 to $1.1 million. But that money is money that has been donated to support people facing food insecurity. It's not money that we receive for the organization.
Right.
It's like a pass-through.
Yes, it's specifically
and then
purpose.
we have 750 volunteer plus, and they donate the time. We are operating 24/7. When you combine the value of our volunteers' time and the value of the food donated to the organization, that is what is making $1.1 million.
Mm.
We are running this organization with 13 towns participating. Everything that we have accomplished, giving more than 330,000 pounds last year for people facing food insecurity in northern New Jersey. You will not believe how much we are spending in running the organization. Less than 50,000 per year.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, that speaks to good stewardship, certainly. And if some of our community wanted to contribute financially, how can they do that?
Well, if people want to contribute to the work that our volunteers and the organization are doing across the state of New Jersey, the best way is going to our website, www.neearth.org, and make a donation there. We are invested 97% of each donated dollar into the community that we are serving, which is 3%. Most organizations across the nation have 37% investment in administration. We only have 3%.
So that means, folks, that 97 cents of every dollar that you give goes straight into indirect assistance.
Right.
That is admirable, Jose. Thank you. I have some questions to ask you regarding forming a nonprofit, maybe some of the challenges that you face. I know you were in the nonprofit sector before, but now you are organizing, like finding your board of trustees. The reason I ask is I've talked to business owners who have a for-profit business, who also have a heart that is very involved in giving. So some of them, what they do is they give to other organizations who are already providing a service. Some others have they're passionate about a cause and they would like to start a nonprofit. So for them, it's sometimes a little bit scary, you know. They know about business, they know how to register their business and comply with the regulations, etc. But starting a nonprofit seems overwhelming to them. Can you share a little about what you went through, the experience, what it was like?
Well, first, my background is in finance and administration. So I used to work for many nonprofit organizations in New York City. So I learned from them how to manage, how to create and put together a nonprofit organization. And by the way, the Northeast Earth Coalition has fathered many nonprofit organizations in New Jersey. We teach the leaders, the community leaders, how to do the registration, how to be in compliance, creating bylaws. For New Jersey specifically, the first thing that you need to have is the employer identification number, the EIN number. And you got that for free from the Social Security Administration. Online, takes you probably 20 minutes to get it. And then you go with that number to the New Jersey Department of State and register the organization, and that costs you probably another $250. And then the third step is doing the registration with charity the department in New Jersey. Why? Because that will put you in compliance. But before you go there, you need to have your bylaws, and bylaws usually are, the way that you will be governing the organization. That need to be defined in advance. If you go to any attorney, the attorney probably will ask you for between $5,000 to $10,000 to do the registration and the whole process. If you do it by yourself, it costs you just a little fraction. It's doable. Thanks God that we have, internet, and there is a lot of information, and you can get, your organization created. Defining also the mission of the organization is important, because that is what is the purpose of the organization.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And you're right. In terms of being that online, there's a lot of information available, and the feedback that I receive is so much, and you don't really know what's what and what isn't. So I think it's awesome that you guys are fathering other organizations and kind of helping them through the process. I believe there's a ton of value in that type of relationship of mentoring, that one-on-one, or that teaching. I appreciate that very much. So, Jose, tell me, what do you have going on right now in this season? What's happening? What is it that the coalition is doing?
We have many projects around going on. This afternoon, we will be planting a pollinator garden outside in the building with volunteers. This project started last year during the fall with the children. We are empowering children because, the future belongs to them. And we started the garden, so we are continue planting for the season. Then we have last night a presentation in Mountain Lake. We are trying to bring Mountain Lake community into the environmental movement. There's a lot of excitement there happening. We are supporting 2 environmental restoration projects in Florham Park. Now we have 4 there. We have a special project which is brand new. The new location is brand new. We have been working with this group for almost 8 years now. But it's a special group because it's integrated by Latino women. And we created a community garden for them, and they has been very successful. And then we are now envisioning aeroponic community garden in Montclair, powered with solar power, so to make the garden sustainable. And that will be duplicating the productivity of the community garden, where we are already envisioning to bring the equipment for aeroponic and growing, have an aeroponic farm there.
What are some of the challenges that you're facing as a coalition?
The bigger challenges is we want to do so much and so many good things for the community that we are serving. We are dreamers. And sometimes we don't have the resources, financial resources to do that. We do a lot of things because we have so many wonderful volunteers working, for free. Nobody get paid here, even myself. So, funding is the big challenge. And let me put an example. We were thinking to create a special community garden right here in Montclair. And we chose the location of a park, which was not developed. And last year, we changed the nature of the project and decided that rather than doing a community garden there, we will be creating something special. And the area is very unique because it has a senior citizen resident. It has a school for children with disabilities. It also have a ex-county program for people with disability. So when I envisioned that, I said, let's put together all the dots here. Everything is walking distance. Instead of doing a community garden, a regular community garden here, let's do something special for people with disability. And that is how we created the Erie Park Wellness Center, Community Wellness Center garden. And this garden has been designed with universal design, accessible for everybody. It's inclusive. If the project is approved, which I finally believe that yes, it will be approved and get funding and materialize, it will be the first all-inclusive community garden in New Jersey in public space.
Nice. That's amazing.
And that means the people with all disability, mental, physical disability, seniors, we have the opportunity to enjoy the space. And we are envisioning a community garden, picnic table, especially designed for people in wheelchairs, a sensory garden for people who are blind and they can, see, but they can touch and they can smell the fragrance of the herbs and plants, a pollinator garden, a gazebo for, to host their event, an educational event. We are partnering with two universities, Rutgers and Montclair State, to send a student from special education program to come and direct a workshop and practice because they need to practice for the professional career.
That's amazing. I love the fact that there are universities involved. There are other organizations involved. There's a government. Who coordinates that? Who makes all those connections? Who makes sure all those pieces are moving?
I did it.
You do?
I did it, yeah. And we reached out more than that. When I said, we had the support of the community, we went to the Environmental Commission, we went to the Civil Rights Commission because it's a right for people to have a space like any other. So people with disability and seniors deserve the same right, equal rights. And I said, you need to support this. And the Civil Rights Commission said, yes, we do. And then I met with people with the Commission for People with Disability and local groups who promote and support activities and programs for people with disability. Mental health also, teachers, the Board of Education. So it was bringing everybody together around the table and asking them to collaborate and be partners of this project. Our elected official, at local level and federal level.
That's amazing. That takes a lot. You know what? Something that I don't know if our listeners picked up is you said no one gets paid from the coalition, not even yourself. Everyone is a volunteer.
Right.
That is incredible. I think that is incredible. Jose, our time is coming to a close. So I'd like to ask you, is there anything that you would like to emphasize to our listenership? Anything that you would like them to kind of walk away with from this episode?
Yes, I will say that if in some way you got inspired because our story and you feel the call to do something for your community, this time is now. Don't wait. You pursue your dreams. Doesn't matter that you think it's something a little thing makes a huge difference. And if you have the energy, the passion, and the love for the community and for different causes, do it. And do it locally because acting locally for a more sustainable work is the right way to do things. Don't think that you need to save the animals. In Africa, in the jungle, think about what you can save the wildlife in New Jersey first. And not only in New Jersey, in your community, immediate community, and then go expanding to other places, and dream big.
There you have it, folks. Jose German Gomez, founder of the Northeast Earth Coalition and recipient of the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. My pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the show, go to NewJerseyBusinessPodcast.com. That's NewJerseyBusinessPodcast.com. We can't wait to hear from you and your business. You can also visit our website to learn about sponsorship opportunities and how to qualify for a complimentary gift. Thanks again for listening to the New Jersey Business Podcast.